Well, the black wattle is almost in full bloom, getting to its peak. You might want to ask yourself why it's called a black wattle. Well, it's probably due to the leguminous seed pods going black rather than brown. You might then want to take your idea to some deep insight whether the majority of Drosera seed and Drosophilum and a few others, maybe Drosera as well, aren't their external testers black? So are the external testers impregnated with Iron-OXYSULPHIDE? Anyway, these ones, no wilt whatsoever, nice glossy leaves, just like Stoll said, and some impressive root growth. You know, a few centimetres in 24 hours sort of thing. You can just see through the sides of some of them that I put in there. Our little seedling there is still going along, hasn't carked it, so that's good. So we'll see if it develops. Not so with these ones. Running the equation the other way, you can see a bit of wilting, and that's usually followed by necrosis, you know, death of the tips and things like that. So definitely, this seems to be the edaphic base, or the edaphic factor that you have to have in the soil, I think. So this is like the fundamental thing. You're going to have your so-called silver sand, I suppose, of longleaf pine rich silviculture areas. You can see the connection there. You know, it's called silviculture because most of these things grow in argilliferous or sandy areas. The other point of the three major groups of soils, you know, your clays, your sands and your loams, basically, if I've got that right, apart from your soil series and things, you know, your potter soils and your spotter soils and irido soils and things like that. The sandy soils have those. This is another one of these seeming incongruencies. Sandy soils have the highest load of nematodes. And of course, they go on about, you know, there's good nematodes and there's bad nematodes. It's like saying, you know, there's Republicans and Democrats. It's like a dichotomy thing, you know. Don't look at the liver. Good nematodes, bad nematodes. Don't look at the liverworts, as we say. So anyway, I put in a couple of Dioneer cuttings and see how they go, sort of thing. So we'll see how it go. You know. Anyway, so what I'm going to move on is, I tried some other ones. I try bicarbonate to try and get the iron to latch onto the catalytic newspaper cellulose whitewood. I tried copper as a mordant, so I've tried bicarbonate as a mordant. I tried copper as a mordant. You can see the relationship between bicarbonate and copper. Copper has two carbonates, don't forget, an acid one and an alkaline one, in case you didn't know. And I also tried instant coffee, and that was a dead loss too. So this angle about coffee, it's not. I think you're going to have a brown wood, basically a hemicellulose rich wood, and that also takes us on to the concept of typhus. You know, that palaver about typhus bulrush leaf bases, using it as a substitute for peat. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was going to get my Rumex inflorescence. Have you seen the brownness of Rumex inflorescence? It's really quite dark brown. So yeah, you might want to think about that. How much hemicellulose is in, and whether you can actually blacken, you know, your Rumex inflorescences if you want to chop them up and things like that. With some Iron-OXYSULPHIDE sort of thing. So it only seems to blacken brown woods. So far, can't get it to latch on to whitewood. Can't find a mordant that will allow you to do that. So I'm going back to Bran. The reason I'm going back to Bran, it's somewhat of a brown wood. It's basically cheap sawdust in a way. Sometimes in the season after the harvest, you can get this down to 20 cents a packet for 500 grams. So it can go from 20 cents to $2 usually. So it goes up 10 times its value when it gets scarce in the season, when, you know, they've used it after the harvest for all the pets and everything like that. And then when the next harvest comes in, it can go down as low as 20 cents. I've actually bought bags in the past as low as 20 cents a packet. So that's pretty good value. You know, in other words, you can make up these things here for probably 60 cents. You know, probably about 60 cents, you know. I mean, if you bought stuff in bulk, you probably do it for 50 cents or something like that. So it's a good value for money if you can. Now, the other reason I want to get try Bran is normally you get millions upon billions of nematodes growing in it if you keep it damp and wet, sort of thing. And so much so that they sinter on the surface of the soil. You can actually see them swarming on the surface of the soil, sintering in the sunlight. There's so many. There's like, you know, probably trillions of them, you know, per cubic centimetre sort of thing. And I'm wondering if we can get the oxysulphide to latch onto this. Will that now not happen, or will it keep them under control? Will it kill off all the nasty ones and keep all the so-called good nematodes? Because I remember Terry Bertozzi once saying that they'd done research at the Waite or something when he was working there, and they found that Venus flytrap were inculcated with tons and tons of nematodes, I think he said. But then again, that might be because they weren't growing them in iron-oxysulphide, you know, your baseline soil, I think. I think this is what it's going to be. So I think this is what all that palaver about charcoal is, really. They were confusing it with the, you know, I was talking about grey sand, grey soils, you know, and they were thinking it was charcoal or something. I don't think it's actually charcoal. Anyway, I put some liverwort jemmy down on here, and we'll see how they go. They're not dead yet, so that's something. Will they grow? I don't know. But that's a good sign that that thing hasn't died off, hasn't been eaten away, and it's looking better and better so far in coloration, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, give you another look. I think we're on spot culling, but maybe take this off so we can get closer. I don't know how close I can get. But I thought I'd better get this out here because they're forecasting a complete day of rain tomorrow, so I don't know. I'll probably have it set up and being drowned in the rain, which would be good one away. It's a good test. So I'll probably just set it up over here or something like that. And yeah, so back to normal area, I suppose. Get the old length there, the annoying thing. Sometimes this works really well, and sometimes it's very hard. So I think they need a little bit of a better system. When it works really well. When it doesn't work, it's a bit of a fiddle. Anyway, so we'll see how we go and see if how the Dioneer cuttings go and so on and so forth. Oh, I put some basic seeds down, you know, capes, bananas, the usual thing, you know, see how they go, see if they germinate. As you can see with the tomato seedlings, they've probably got another day or two to go before you actually start seeing signs of germination. As you can see, you know, the basic backing of the seed, the pulp is, you know, rotting down very, very quickly. So as it usually does, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, I've got really good confidence from the way these look under a hand lens. I mean, you can see. Are we on the spot colour? No, we aren't. There, bugger. Sometimes does that. Okay, can you see that? The glossiness of the leaves, and so on and so forth. So yeah, a lot better than those ones over there. So anyway, we'll see. So if we get germination of the seeds here and steady growth of the seeds here and nothing on there, I think that just puts the line of the whole thing. Your baseline is you've got to have this basic iron-oxysulphide in the soil as a general edaphic factor that kills off the, you know, your basic tomato fungi that attack the attack the tomato seedlings, and also it probably keeps the nematodes suppressed, the nasty nematodes or things. So yeah, and also by keeping the soil anaerobic, I suppose. So is the use of perlite in these soils, is it really to aerate an anaerobic soil? Is that what it is? You know, so you look at the pots, the people using perlite, do they have black peat or do they have brown peat? Or does the brown peat go black very quickly, you know? I don't know how they're doing it. But anyway, I think we've got to, I mean, it would be nice if you could just stick it to your bloody perlite that would be good, because the perlite does grow the red organism really well, and we want to see those lovely thick red roots, and of yesteryear, of the 1970s basically. But I think we might get there. But anyway, my next step is I'm going to try this as a cheap source of somewhat brown sawdust, and see how we go from there, because it's cheap. It's easily available, anyone can get it, it's cheap. Usually, you can go really, really cheap at certain times of the year and go from there. Anyway, that's about it for now, and I'll see you on the other side once I've made some up, probably tomorrow, I don't know, it could be this afternoon, I don't know. Usually I sit them in the bucket for like 24 hours or something, and as you can see, it's consistently keeping its colour at the moment, but is it slowly going back to brown? I don't know. Can you see that? I don't know, but we'll see how we go. But I'm interested to see if we get any basic germination of the standard set of, I put Planchonii down there, our easiest germinator, Cape, Banana, the usual suspects sort of thing, and see how they go. But I'm pretty chuffed with the health of these basic control weed, our control weed that we selected out for, because these things can grow up to the size of a 12-inch pot, hang over the edge of a 12-inch pot. So, if we can get them growing up to that sort of size, and with some degree of robustness, so so if we can do the same thing with a fly trap, that would be very fine, or get to the old 80-centimetre Darwin Benata that he mentioned in his book. You have to believe him, because he's so accurate on everything else he used to say. So he was very accurate about the dull, drab Australian flora when he came to this continent at the wrong time of the year, and that's why he never saw the glid. I mean, had he seen the glid, it would have maybe been a totally different story had he seen the glid during the wet, but he came to southern Abbott Land during the dry, and when it's quite dull and drab, and so and visited Sydney town, as they used to call it back then. Anyway, that's about it for now. Over and out. But you might want to think about that, about why Drosera seeds most of them are quite jet black, and Planchonii, our easiest germinator in particular. So you might want to think about that. Anyway, over and out for this one. Just a few deep insights, I think, to keep you chugging along during lockdown. Okay, over and out. Bye.